Steve contact you before you went there?
No,
or
it
was it just a coincidence?
Well, it wasn't a coincidence, and I thought it was funny too because we like literally bumped into one another in the same like at the end of an aisle, and I knew almost immediately that it happened for a reason. But I'm not like open when I'm at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
She started talking about him, and then it was sparkles and twinkles, and he's around. And I was like, yeah, lots of energy with him. I think that's exactly what I said. In fact, because he could have gone on and she's at work trying. I was there late because I have kids and I don't get a life, and so I was there pretty late and they were getting ready to close, and I'm sure you wanted to get out of there. It was, yeah. But sometimes I'll be somewhere and sometimes spirits don't leave when I ask them to, and they like badger. Usually, almost every time, it's been for a purpose. Like one guy I was at Body Pump and I had seen him 3 times a week, and then that particular day his mom was just, and she wouldn't go away for an hour. So I finally found him after class, and I said, well, one, I talked to dead people, and then 2, your mom is really proud of you, like today, and she just wants you to know. It was his year sober after she passed.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like that, you know what I mean? So usually when they badger me, there's definitely a reason that later makes sense, but otherwise I'm just like off. You know,
right?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was your question?
No, I was just, that exactly was my question. If she had ever had anybody that wouldn't leave her alone.
And this pig, I'm sure I'll figure out this weekend because I have an event because it wasn't with you. And sometimes, like one time I saw, this one disturbed me because it was in my daughter's room and it was a child, but it was a young kid who was passed away, and I knew that, but they weren't like, there was no blood or anything. I just knew they were dead and they were in my daughter's room, and that was kind of like eerie. But then I had an event less than 2 weeks later, and then it came full circle. I didn't like it because kids, like, that's sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way
Yeah.
that it's okay. But, so, you know, when that happens, it's shocking. But,
Wow.
yeah.
I admire you.
Thanks. It's a lot to, it's heavy
It's
sometimes.
a burden.
Yeah, it can be. It really can.
Well,
Much more of a blessing, but, prior to like realizing how to like switch it on and off and when to you know allow my space to be my space, it was over. Like I was exhausted and had a lot of headaches and sore like neck shoulder muscles, you know. But now fortunately it's like I can.
What a gift to provide.
so how long have you been doing this?
Probably like 4 years.
Oh,
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's wild to me too. I don't. People ask like how and why. If I could make sense, you know, I would try. Yeah.
Like right now, your eyes are going
Well,
off.
there's just
like
more energy, even in this house, huh? Who lives here? Whose house is this? Your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve never lived here though.
Oh, it's not. If it were him, yeah, it's energy though. Does that make sense to you? Why?
Oh my God,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah. No, it's not negative.
It's not?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Is he the one moving the picture in Jordan's room?
He's laughing because he wishes he could say that
Oh.
it were, but no, there must be a fan or a window or something that like rounds off, like when the breeze flows through. That like, 'cause
Yeah,
he's showing me like arrows of. You took it down.
Yeah.
Because he's showing me like the flow of air. It has something to do with whatever that
You
is.
always have that fan over there, Jay. And if the door's open.
So that would make sense.
I could just see Steve like hanging out by you for weeks.
He is like different. Because usually, not usually, there is no usual. There's a lot of different things that happen. It's just funny because he's talking to his girls and ex-wife, and he's still not like gentle and you know what I mean? He's not even trying to be. He's just still himself. He'd have a beer in his hand right now if he was here. Like he's acknowledging all of this.
Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes people are more reflective and aware of maybe what they could have done differently, and they're like, not him.
He's just stubborn. That's what I mean. I can
Yeah,
just see
that's
him
totally
badgering
good.
you for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, go back and say this, and this. Wow, that was awesome. I'm so glad I got to see that. It's very cool.
Right.
So how does someone get a hold of you if they want to have a reading done?
Well, I have cards. I didn't used to, but it's crazy because just word of mouth. Like I don't have a business per se. Just people talk and it's usually good. So it's my husband's like, you have a responsibility at this point. That instead of people like hunting you down and you not responding to text messages you don't know, like you. So he made me really cute cards.
Aw.
That's my story.
Well, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you a believer?
You stayed up past your bedtime.
It's almost fine.
Thank you.
You know.
Oh, I like the spelling of your name.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cute cards, huh?
Yeah.
I like him. He's a keeper.
I say I'll take a card too.
Thank
Let
you.
me have it. Thank you.
Of course. There you go. Oh, there's you guys. Know how to get in touch.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel? What do you think?
It was crazy, but it like took so much off my chest.
Aw, good.
I was like, I asked him, I was like, does she need a hug? He's like, I wasn't a hugger. Was he not a hugger? Okay.
That's funny.
Well, at least you know it was him, too.
I was like, so there's one place that I go every month. I took off this summer, but in Iola. Do you know where Iola is?
Yeah.
So I go there every month and do an event. It's just all day, and I have people come in. And so what happens is, like, I'll get people from out of state, and you know, I book out a couple months ahead. And probably every other time I'll wind up with a skeptical husband whose wife made him come. And so I always like to start off those readings with like evidence. You know what I mean? Like you got to show me things that they know that only they would know, so that we can just get over the whole like
That's him.
she's making it up idea and get past that hurdle, so that I don't waste the rest of their time trying to convince them that I'm not Googling things under the table. So yeah, your dad was very clear, and I'm glad that he was.
Yeah, he's very frank, that's
Mhm.
for sure. Dang.
You have a question?
I have a question. Like the day after he passed away, was he the shadow in my room? It was his figure.
His finger?
Figure.
Oh, I was like, that's so weird.
It was his figure, yeah.
Little baby shark. Okay, so is your father passed? Is his father?
His
Yeah.
dad.
Okay. And was he a better man than your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. You must have had some sort of close relationship with him at some point.
No, he passed away.
He passed
like
away
a
a month after Jordan was born.
Were you
He-
close with him?
Yeah.
His dad? So it was him, but the idea was because so what there's a couple things here. So your dad was afraid to cross over because he was sure he was gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
So I know, isn't that horrible? So he helped him. Grandpa is what. That's why I wasn't sure who's. But anyway, Grandpa helped him go to the other side, as well as a larger dog.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know the dog's name.
Whose dog? Their
Your
dog?
own dog? Yeah.
Tuffy wasn't a big dog though.
Larger than that, but not like my golden retriever.
Yeah, Tuffy was a little bigger.
So. Okay, sorry. Okay, so they helped him cross over, and he was kind of resentful, I guess, at the fact that he died and it wasn't on his terms. Because he always said, if he's gonna go out, I'm gonna be happy, and it was different than what he would have hoped for. Anyway, so Grandpa was there with him and trying to offer protection and comfort of the home. So was it in your bedroom or was it somewhere else?
It was in my bedroom.
Okay. He was trying to offer like comfort and protection of the home, and so I've always believed, and there's a million different theories on this, whatever. When we see like the shadow figures or whatever, I always think that it's people who haven't quite crossed over yet, like just quite crossed over. Sometimes it's people who are afraid they're going to hell and don't have like somebody to get them to the other side, and sometimes it's people who are negative energies and like just don't want to yet. Anyway, so it wasn't just your dad, and it wasn't even quite your dad, but your grandpa was there with the dog. Because naturally, if he was going to be somewhere, it was here. Because it hit here the most. He's saying that was like the longest night of your life. Yeah. Anyway, so it wasn't just your dad, and it wasn't even like your dad at all, but it kind of was, if that makes sense to you. It was supposed to be more comforting than it was terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were really scared.
Yeah. You two just have to be there for each other because you're gonna realize it's all you have. Like, it's just important for you girls to know that. Did you ever miscarriage at some point?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay. Yeah. So, I could do this all day. So, anyway,
I could sit here all day.
he's acknowledging, but I don't know that all were with him, were they? Were you not married with one of them or something? Whatever, it's irrelevant. Anyway, he's acknowledging, and it could be a gender difference or something, but that there are babies who passed prior to being born, symbols for that, that are on the other side that are connected. So I knew it wasn't one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're also there.
Have you ever watched yourself when you do a reading?
No, and I don't want to because I'm sure I'm super weird. I always try not to make eye contact with people I'm reading because I don't want them to think I'm inferring anything from how they respond to what it is that I say.
No, it's just fascinating to watch you.
And then I also like see things, but yeah, so I don't want to know. You know, everyone's their own worst critic, and I was PTOing and all these things today, and here I am now. I made it.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
nice.
for having me. Thanks for being
thank
open.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're good.
Sorry
Okay.
about your tired.
Yeah.
My dad wants you to change.
No father is ever gonna. I
Yeah.
shouldn't say like ever, but yeah.
Especially Steve. Yeah.
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 That was
He wouldn't even
funny.
like you if you had a beer in your hand.
Right.
That's what I said. You could have no tires and he'd still be mad.
Yeah. You have a bike with a little bell on it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
funny that
I know it's tough.
it's
You
funny
can
that when you said that, you know, he thought he was gonna go to hell because, like, what care after?
Oh, I have another question. So when he passed away at the memorial, he broke a window. We
Oh,
thought
yeah.
A window was
That
shattered.
memorial that we did.
Did it fall shut?
No,
No.
No,
it just was
it's
like it
shattered.
all shattered, and it didn't like come out of the window. It was just all shattered glass.
It was like in a room, so it was like a room on one side and then another room on the other.
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure where you had it. He's showing me like an old window. Like an old window though.
Yeah. Well,
So this was not in a funeral home, was it?
It was a
I'm so confused. Is the funeral home like an unusual one, like one level or story or something? 'Cause it is? Okay, because he's making me like it wasn't a church and it wasn't like a big fancy thing. And but then he's also telling me, that's why I asked, like, is it in a house? Is it not in a funeral home? Because all of the energy, and I know that you said he's got a headstone, but there's like a lot of, well, dead people energy that you could like cut with a knife when you're sensitive to those things. That's another thing that he wishes he could take credit for and he can't.
And
Are there old windows in this house though?
yeah.
Cause he's showing me, you know, like old windows that you open and sometimes the back one will fall.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what he showed. Like when you said that, that's what he showed me. So I don't know if there's one that does
no,
that
these all
here.
slide.
They do. Okay.
There's a window that's cracked.
Is there?
That's in Jordan's room.
It cracked last winter.
That's here he goes. But that's because you've been saying that you're gonna get something sealed or replaced or insulated or something that has to get done still. And he's also showing me on your window, like if it's like condensation gets in between the storm window and the window. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like it forms a halo or an angel shape or something. Does that happen? Huh.
I've never noticed it.
It's almost like frosted. And then there's like an angel shape. I don't even know what else to say about that. That's really strange. But it's
There's-
not on sliding windows though. It's like a standard window. So I don't know.
There's a frosted angel that lights up outside her door.
Bedroom door? Like a normal
Like
panel door?
outside the house, right outside of her bedroom.
Just so you know, he's just making a joke about the angel because if Lord knows if he were to come back and like show himself to you, it wouldn't be an angel. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
he's not. He's like angels watch over me, but that's not gonna be how Dad comes there.
That's so funny.
It's so mean.
Still himself.
Right?
Well, thank you for
Thank
allowing
you.
me in your home and your
Thank
space.
you.
That was
Hang in there, girls. It's tough. I was an adult when my mom passed away, and at least you have your mom, though. I will say that because she's your rock, and you need that. Don't take it for granted. But I did every day of my life, so who am I to say?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Hang in
thank
there. I wish there was one, something that makes it better, but it's time.
I think you probably feel better, don't you?
A little bit.
For a rough year.
He loves the hell out of you. You guys know that. Okay. Alright.
Hope you can leave them here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
That's very cool stuff. I missed it. If you recorded it. A lot of it was like right on.